What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Journey Podcast. It's Olivier, aka a baby in it. Just want to let you guys know that this is my last podcast with the boys for a minute. I'm moving to a different city, so it's gonna be a while before we all reunite again. But it's definitely gonna happen. This is the beginning of an ending. The ending of a beginning, my bad. So yeah, we're gonna reunite. It's been amazing shooting and recording, with the boys, Oscar, Dean, and Adam. One of our guests, Johrace, as well. The vibes have always been immaculate, you feel me? It's always great vibes and like one of the best environments out there, for real. So guys, stay tuned for the reunion. It's coming back soon, so enjoy.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Journey Podcast. Today we have a guest with us.
It's Johrace.
Yes, sir.
No.
First guest. Let's go.
I feel welcomed.
How you been? How you been recently, man?
Yeah, been good. Just been chilling. You feel me?
What you been up to?
No, I've just been working, gym, working out, and then sleeping. Because sleep is important. You feel me?
We actually we filmed we already made a podcast with Johrace, but the audio was
5 months ago. But
yeah. But the audio was all corrupted because someone was waving the mic around.
Let's zoom up on this boy.
Zoom in on his face.
No, so this is our second attempt, but we have video this time, so
yeah,
it should be much better.
See our beautiful faces.
Except my acne.
The acne prince, always talking about his acne.
No, I'm trolling. No, keep it going. That was next.
No, on the last podcast, it was actually pretty good, but because we did touch on a lot of things,
which we're hoping to touch on today.
Yeah. Pretty deep stuff like men's mental health and growing up, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
straight up. But yeah, someone caked.
Someone ruined it. I can't remember who it was. Nah. Okay, I got a question for you guys. What would you say is your funniest school memory, like from school? What's one thing that stood out that was just the funniest thing that happened, or just one of them?
Well, I guess I'll go first. I don't really remember much from school. I enjoy the memories, remember the feeling, the happy feelings and all that. But the last thing I remember was the water balloon fight that we had in the memorial. That was the only thing that I remember, like the last happy, like fun thing.
And all the teachers shut that ish down.
Yeah. It was so vexed.
And when the water bottle got chucked.
That one teacher that I literally didn't even know his name, he got hit with a water balloon. He was mad. He was standing there like,
I don't understand why they're so pressed. Like they're never gonna see us again, bro.
Just for one day.
Yeah, man.
We didn't have a.
We cleaned it anyway. Oh no, we. Some of us did.
I don't know about you.
Me, bro. He was like, out of all the people, he was like Johrace. Remember? He was like Johrace and someone else cleaned this whole thing.
They told Ben. They said
Johrace and Ben cleaned this whole thing. I was like, what? For what? Nah, yeah, racism is hard.
No, this is not really a memory, but like every time me and Olivier would talk to someone and it would be a deep chat, Olivier, he would go like, oh, there would be a time when me and Dean shifted the fuck. And it would come across as so like, it's like fruity, man. Like,
whoa. Fruity, what the that's gay.
Yeah.
Hell nah, bro.
No.
What's your funniest school memory, Olivier?
Oh, bro. There's tons. He was always at the basketball court, man.
Yeah.
There was always edit. I mean,
it's always edit.
It was always at the basketball courts, man. Yeah, either Alif would do something.
Oh,
yeah.
Remember, shout out Alif.
Yeah, Alif.
If you're watching, I miss you. I'm just kissing you.
Yeah, shout out to Alif, by the way. You're watching this. Yeah, but Alif would do something to surprise us all, and we'd just be like, oh. Or this guy here would go on like a streak of just impossible shots, and the reactions was where it was at. If he did something, just the hype, like that's probably what I miss most about school, lunchtime basketball.
Everyone just starts running.
Screaming.
Funniest thing for me, there was like heaps of stuff that happened in school. It's like, but I can't remember any of it. No, but probably the best stuff is like the fights and all that.
Oh, far.
Nah, like, word. Like, there was like, there was like unexpected, like people you wouldn't expect to fight, like just two random people having beef, and it's like, what? When did they have beef?
Nah,
but then the hype around it was so crazy because everyone would like be like trying to get their story straight, and everyone's asking everyone what's happening.
Yeah, no, that's what I was gonna say when you guys said a leaf. Remember Dallas incident where you just kicked that video went viral.
No, that video is gonna go on, bro.
Nah, yeah, and like Ben when he would edit the fight video. It was a fight video.
It'd always be like entertaining as well. You just see like you just be chilling, just eating your lunch, and you just see like this whole rush of students just running.
And then
the next students just back to back.
I swear I always see Adam at the back of that crowd trying to figure out what's happening. Having lunch in his hands. He's like, "Oh, what's happening?" And he's like, "I don't know."
No, these
I'm hungry, bro. Oh yeah.
I'll be Adam all the time. I seems like, and then I'll be at basketball, so I was always like last one to find out. Yeah. So I'll be like, no, what happened? And
it'll just be the conversation for the next week.
Oh yeah.
And one funny thing that I just remembered, I just found. Wait, let me see.
Pull that goodie
I found
bag.
this thing here the other day, like sitting in my drawer, and I was like, "What the heck is this SD card?" I put it in. It has all videos from year 9 camp. I don't know why I filmed it.
Is that the one with Joku?
And I've got videos of Baz dancing in that garbage.
Oh, yeah.
It was the weirdest thing, but it made me laugh. So
It couldn't be me. I didn't go.
That's actually so annoying. I wish we had year 12 camp because me and Johrace missed it.
Yeah, year 11 camp was a bit weird. Like it didn't seem right because
Yeah,
grade 12 you can end it off, with like a camp. Like
that's why I thought it was dumb. So I was like, okay, it's all good. We won't miss anything going to America then. And then they announced, oh, sorry, we're having year 11 camp instead of year 12.
We had the worst fun.
You didn't miss much.
But no, we had a better time. But I'm just saying we missed like our whole last camp. We only had Johrace had no camps apparently.
No cap.
No camp.
You didn't miss much, man. It was just
Stacey, what's one thing you wish you were told before you started school? So, like if someone
that is useless. Like don't go to school if you don't. Nah, to be honest, like I just went into school not even like expecting anything. To be honest, I don't know what what will change, what will be like the same. So I just went in like sort of like scared of what's gonna happen. But when I was there, it was fine. Made friends and all that. But one thing I wish I knew is like, right? What is man's? Man's always got the giggles or something.
So go continue.
Getting mad high vibes already. But But I don't even know, to be honest. Like if I was told that to I guess like take other people's like views on properly, like respect them sort of thing, because I remember how like it used to be like some people like have like be going through certain stuff, and then it would just be like the joke of like the school or whatever. So like I was just like like hit me, but I used to like be a part of it too. Like I used to be like, what the heck, like why is they doing like just dissing other people's problems, and like that sort of sucks. Like it's probably the main thing for me, because it's just like what. That's so like.
Did you get sort of caught up in the group mentality?
It's just like maybe not like a pressure, like peer pressure, but like just like
so everyone
trying to be cool or whatever.
Because it's what they did for fun. So
trying to just like it's just like everyone was doing it for fun. So I was like but like I know I'm better than I was raised better than that, but that's probably one thing. Just
would you say like even you've experienced like that, like not being like the one being looked on like that?
Yeah. There's been times where I've been like that, like been plenty of times.
Yeah,
but and then it's sort of like be like, bro, this is how this person felt when we were like pressing them about.
Exactly. You never really know until you walk into their shoes.
Yeah. So like just like someone was like told me, just if I told me like myself something before I came to high school, just be like, just be respectful of other people's personal life and stuff like that. Yeah, views and everything like that. Because not just stuff that happens to them, just like what they say, beliefs and all that.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah.
It takes you a while to realize how people feel until you're the butt of the joke.
Yeah.
Like when people start making fun of you for something or start scrutinizing you, then you start to feel, oh crap, now I know how this person feels. And then you start to feel even worse because you contributed to, that sort of group mentality. And I don't think people do it out of like, hatred. I think it's just they see everyone else doing it and then they say, okay, everyone else is doing it, so I'm just going to talk about this and make fun.
Just like fitting in.
Because you don't want to be cast out.
Yeah, exactly. I feel that the message I wish I was being told before I started high school would be compete with yourself, not against others. Because that's the thing though, like in school you're always competing with other people, trying to be at the top, you know, you focus on that so much, don't realize the mistakes you're making yourself, you know, you don't focus on yourself. So I wish I was told something like that.
That's deep.
Yeah, because if you spend your time like judging someone else and being like trying to beef with someone else, but you like don't know like how they're sort of feeling, you know, they can be like real down, and then the weight of like the whole school looking at you and judging you for something, that must suck. I personally don't feel like I've experienced that, but still, like, I know people who have, and it's just I wouldn't wish that on anyone.
Yeah, you shouldn't judge what you see on the outside.
Yeah, and don't listen to what other people are saying. Like, that's the main thing. People would always like gossip, go around.
Well, just think they're like your age as well, and they're going through like the same stuff as you, like talking like growth wise. Yeah. So it's just like what, like obviously some people could be wiser than someone else, but like when people try to give you advice about certain stuff, it's just like, yeah. And like another thing too is also like telling people, because where there's a listening ear, there's a like open mouth. Like they just keep like, people can just expose crap, because like that's happened so many times in high school. Someone's told like something's just been leaked or rumored out because someone's told someone something personal.
Lies spread faster than the truth.
Everyone believes it like straight away, even when they have no evidence, no facts. If someone's just said it, it's true.
There's this good quote fake about news, like rumors and shit. Hold up, let me find it.
Why you find that? What's like, I know you've sort of been in that position really where everyone's been like spreading stuff about you. What's one way you've dealt with like feeling down, or dealt with feeling like sort of in that position of being looked upon negatively?
The best two ways I deal with it is well, at first it's pretty like, it's bad, it's not healthy, but like you just laugh with it. You try to laugh with it and try to like smile about it and be like yeah, that's a funny joke, and just like laugh about it. Turn it like start like dissing yourself too, like low key, like you're like this just trying to joke about it, be the funny guy as well. But like the two best ways that I deal with it is like sport and music. So like you just
like to get your mind off
just like therapeutic stuff, like high key. You just by yourself just to like just chill, relax, like don't take it to heart, and just like it's just like petty rumors. And
have there ever been moments where you're like, you just think, I don't even want to show up today, I just don't want to see anyone, I don't want to, because the rumors or whatever, the depression, all that sort of stuff is just hit too hard?
Yeah, there's been certain times where I felt like that, but like I'm not like, I've never been that type of person though. Like I'll still come to school, like no matter what. Like to be honest, I wouldn't come to school if I had like a bad haircut, then that stuff, because like I'm just not like sort of afraid of that. But I just come to school for the girls, to be honest.
that was the main motivation, bro. That's why if you took me to an all boys school, bro, I would have dropped that again.
I'm playing around, but so there was times where I was like, wake up and be like, bro, I'm so slack today. That's why like at one point I was getting bad with like wagging and stuff like that. It's just like, just stay away from school, just like. But yeah, we all go through stuff.
I found the quote, and it's, you know, always remembers rumors. Huh? So I found the quote, and it says, always remember rumors are carried by haters, spread by fools, and accepted by idiots. So
and I bet Denzel made that. No,
I think it's Denzel or something.
It has to be Denzel's king.
I mean, some censorship, but yeah.
Obviously, there's the big thing that's happening now is we're talking about, on the topic of mental health, the male suicide rate is skyrocketed. I don't know the figures, but I always see stuff on like men's mental health. What's your whole opinion on that, and this idea that, you know, as a man you have to be strong, you can't show too much emotions, all that sort of stuff, and the stigma behind it, you know, being a man.
Yeah, well, good question. But I think that whole like trend of being like not having feelings as a man, it just needs to be broken. Like I think it's getting like a little better now. That like I'm talking about our grade, but as we like go out of school, like see how like we're more like real. Like I'm not saying we weren't like deep or real in school.
Yeah, it's just
but like it's really more like
we're more open.
It's more matured conversations and stuff like that. So, but like I feel like it's just so stupid, it's so petty how like guys think like they can't speak, and like, and I think some girls are like opening up to it more too, like to like there's like always a thing like, oh, girls are attracted to guys who like about their feelings and stuff like that, but like guys always like try to compete, like come back to you, or they try to compete, so like they don't want to like show that they're vulnerable in any way, and they want to be like the man of the topic, like they want to be like
the alpha.
Yeah, they want to be like they want to be like the toughest out there or something like that, and show like like grind non-stop, like man mentality. Like it's just like so stupid, because like at the end of the day you're only human, you're not invincible. So
that's fact. Yeah. So like with that said, what do you define a man? Like what's the ideal behavior, characteristics of a man?
Well, I reckon a good man to me is someone that can take care of their family, who's like can be responsible for like their own actions, and can accept or realize when they're wrong.
Exactly. I think that's the biggest one.
Like, cause men are simple creatures. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, like they're like men are pretty stubborn. But I feel like when you know like when you're wrong, accepting it, apologizing if you're wrong.
That's a different type of growth.
Because apologizing is like the forbidden word. Like usually when it comes to men, but like
in my culture, it's big. Like a man over 50.
Yeah.
Will never apologize to someone
it's
younger
one of those
than
things.
Yeah. Nah, for real.
Not about your word.
I think also if you have a male role model in your life, that helps out a lot, guys and girls, you know, because a good father will teach their daughter this is what a man's supposed to be like, and a good father will teach their son, you know, you need to treat a woman with respect. And what we're seeing nowadays is, and I mentioned it in the previous podcast, is like a lack of role models, you know. So growing up for me, like my mom had to be a mother and a father sort of figure. So she had a very like, she had a masculine side and a feminine side.
Shout out single moms.
Yeah, shout out all the single moms out there, straight up. But so growing up, like I was more, even though I was raised by my mom, I was more exposed to the masculine side, because my mom she's very, you know, she is very masculine, and she said, you know, if you're a boy, you can't be like this, you can't do that, you can't do that. And it's
there's like a pressure for him too, because like it's like, I'm not saying like she doesn't know what she's doing, but they wouldn't like know like, oh, I'm raising a boy that's going to become a man. Like how am I supposed to act? So like they would just say certain things.
Yeah, they'll say certain things. And
yo, what's up guys? We're having trouble with the audio, so sorry for the inconvenience. For now you're just gonna have to deal with it, or just click off. Now I'm playing, we need views, lol. But yeah, just enjoy. Oh, and we're definitely gonna try fix it ASAP, so the audio will be much better the next episode. Stay tuned and enjoy. Bye bye.
I remember one time, and I'm not trying to, like, my mom's the best, so I'm not trying to blame anything on her, but growing up it was kind of hard for me to express my emotions, because in times where I did, my mom would say, look at what you've got compared to what I had. And because my mom's from the village, so she came here, you know, foreign country, you know, worked her ass off, did everything. So whenever I used to like get emotional and stuff, she'd be like, son, you need to be a man. Like you need to be. And then it's still like, I still have that echoed in my head today, where sometimes I get emotional, and then like I'll have my mom's voice in my head saying like, man up.
Yeah, nah, that's what I do when I get in the shower, like, because I want to start it cold.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, yeah, man, don't let me.
It's just one of those things.
Yeah. And it's just like, but that's based on like, because it will be based on like her personal situations with men, and she would have her own representation of what men are like, based on what they've experienced with men. So like they could be like led for, like, I'm not saying mothers, but like women in general. They're like, so like if someone did them wrong, then that's their whole representation of men.
Yeah.
So like they're expecting men to be like you know, like I'm a man, like Adam walking, like
yeah, like they have that mentality that all men are like that.
Yeah,
they kind of just like spread that around.
Yeah, that's what I noticed. Like that's why the whole agenda of all men are trash happens, because I realize with girls when they experience something 2, 3, 4 times, especially if they're still mature, they're like, nah, F it, it's all men, because you got played by 5 guys. But you think about how you choose, but
I mean, fair enough. Like if like what's the statistic if like 4 guys that you've met your whole life or whatever have like hurt you? Yeah, exactly. So like I guess like, I understand.
That's fair enough. Like you can't blame them. Like that makes it. What if like that's same with guys? Like if like 4 or 5 girls like that you've like been with or try to have a relationship like play you or like do you dirty, you know, like of course you're gonna have a bad view on like women. You're gonna be more cautious. So we can't really switch it around and say like, oh, why you like that? Why you hate men? But you don't know the experiences they've had, so it could be.
Yeah, but the way I look at it is like, you know, it's like when you read something like an article, a study, you know a study is more reliable with more numbers. And sometimes, say for example, the COVID vaccine, someone already died apparently in Australia. It was 7 years. So for example, they tried it with four people, and then they all were fine. Boom, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th dead. You know, it's not reliable when it's such a small number. Like, unless you've been through 100 men, you're not gonna admit it because you're gonna be like, oh, that's shamey. But
that's the thing. Like, you can't blame like all men and all women like from your bad experiences because that's just not. It's not like all men. It's not all women. It's just like humans. There's a lot of humans that are like quite messed up and are in like the wrong environments. Or it could go back. It could go back to that whole role model thing. They might not have like. Maybe not even both parents or like not a father figure in the house and they don't know how to treat women correctly or they don't know how to treat men correctly and then that leads into what they do to other women like in a relationship or other men in a relationship and that's like it doesn't put us all in the same category. You know?
It could be a standard thing too, just like standards too low or too high or whatever.
That's true.
Yeah, everyone's different.
So you just allow anyone to just be in their life. So like if you're acting like that, then of course you're gonna get hurt. If like you're just letting anyone in your life, but it's just
to sort of play like to challenge everyone's thoughts. What do you think about? There's this whole idea that you know you need to show your emotions more, but when do you think that sort of has to stop? Because there are times where like you know you can't be too emotional. There are times where you have to stand on your 2 feet and you know have some backbone and be like I'm gonna stand up and not show, because in times of crisis not everyone can be too emotional, not everyone can be overly emotional.
That's still like showing emotion, but it's not like the sad emotion or like it's showing that you're like courageous and that you're strong and that you can be bold as a person that question. Stand up.
You just have to remember like who you're talking to because like it depends on who it is, to be honest. Because if you're just talking to like someone you've only met recently and you're just venting, like just being emotional, like showing like being vulnerable, like at the end of the day they could just be like not just through one ear out the other, like just not care at all.
Yeah, unless it's like one of them people you click with.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But if you're like just like a ride or die person, like even maybe like your mum or dad, if you're like close with them, like it's different.
Yeah,
you can be emotional.
But I understand that. Like,
but you can't be a wimp because you're a man. No.
I understand that. Like, I don't share like my thoughts, my emotions with everyone. Like, there's like even some things that I don't share with my family, or there's like some things that I share with my family and I don't share with other people. Like, it depends. Like, you can't share everything with everyone. Like, because like some people just like it's a bit too much pressure on them. Like, if it's someone that you barely know, you just met, you're sort of not that close friends, and you're like telling them like the deepest stuff and opening all your emotions. Like, you put like a lot of pressure on them to feel like they need to
vent something out too.
Like especially as a man, sort of sometimes you do have to like hide your emotions. Sometimes you do have to be like, okay, I'm dealing with this, I'm dealing with that, but I've got a wife and I've got kids, or I've got this person who needs to rely upon me. You can't always, and I think there needs to be a balance, because you can have overly emotional men and you can have men who just don't show anything. And like, to bring it to home, like my dad was like that. He'd never show no emotion. Like there would be times where I'd look at him and I'd be like, aren't you gonna cry? And he'd just be like laughing or whatever. But then it was only until I started to talk to his mom, my grandma, and she'd be like, your dad's very emotional when he talks to me. He's the only one who can sort of like tell me these things. He doesn't tell you and you know.
Yeah, that's true. Like for me, my opinion too, as a man, I feel like you should still be the one that's like, you know, show strength in times of crisis.
Mentally strong.
Yeah, because that's just biology, man. Like for example, if you say your family is going through a death, your wife's always crying, the kids crying. If you crying as well, like the kids have no hope. Now.
Adding fuel to the fire.
Yeah, it's like no one. It's like people just look at it, or like the people around you will just look at it and they just lose hope.
Well, just imagine imagine your partner just looking down, like looking at you, and like you're just down in the dumps and you're just emotional, and like you gotta knuckle up, like you gotta like get it together, like
especially if they're feeling down, they're looking just for someone to help them like get their spirits.
Imagine how it looks on younger kids too.
To help them get through like a time in their life that they're struggling with. Like you need to be there for like people, and that's I was gonna bring that up. I was gonna say like if you are feeling down and if you are in a position right now where you have no one to talk to, or you feel like and you're in a bad mental state, I feel like you should open up to people. Like that's very important.
Of course.
Like, make sure it's like someone that you trust and someone that you know is there to help you. And if you don't have anyone to talk to, there's obviously numbers to call and stuff. And also we're here, guys. If you wanna message us, we have like all our
reach out.
If all your friend groups are too immature to understand you,
just like anonymously, just like putting out like
chuck us a DM and we're happy to talk to you guys.
Yeah, or just like put in the comments anonymous comment, just like make it a fake Gmail account, just put it.
Or you can just if you
fake Gmail doesn't do anything though.
No, I was gonna say if you feel like you have the courage to like open up to one of us, we're all here to talk and we're here to support.
Easy.
If not, there's like different numbers out there.
It's okay to be not okay.
Yeah, no, that's deep. That's deep.
Yeah, something else I was gonna go into is I feel like most of us here have quite a lot of father struggles, like majority.
Daddy issues.
Welcome to the Daddy Issue podcast.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, all of us.
My dad took me to Zimbabwe for a haircut.
I have way too many small jokes.
Yeah, we're just like.
No, because Olivier, he was telling me this, like, we were talking about like dads or something. Olivier reckons, oh, my dad took me and Nick to Zimbabwe for a haircut.
Yeah, no, for real. So like, yeah.
Tell the story.
So this is like what back in 09 or back in 2000, 2009, and then what you call it, like my dad wasn't great at being a father at the time, you know. It was that case of, you know, putting business over family. So he was providing when it came to money, everything, but presence he wasn't there. So because him and mom were having struggles, like they weren't getting along, because like he wasn't a good role model for us, because he was a regular drinker and stuff. So he decided the best way to spend time with us, like best way to spend time with my sons, is let me take him for a haircut. So he took us for a haircut. He took me and my brother to get a haircut, and we went to Zimbabwe for 9 months.
It's like, hey son, I took you for a haircut. I was like, how long are you gonna be? 9 months in Zimbabwe?
No, so this was like what? So I was in Zambia at the time, and Zimbabwe is like a neighboring country. So the haircut involved crossing the border, staying at an auntie's place for 9 months.
Man,
and then we went back.
Yeah, that's something we can all relate to.
Yeah, like, it was that bad. Like, we even started school in Zimbabwe. But I'm cool with my dad. I talk to my dad.
Yeah,
fair play.
I'm saying I still talk to my dad. He still calls me. But I was just saying, like, what do you feel like? Do you feel like our experiences with our fathers has helped us to grow in, like, if you want to start a family in the future, or do you feel like it's like a bit of like a struggle, like?
Well, one thing I try to live by and keep in my head is that there's growth in your grit. So
that's deep.
I remember
it's in my Instagram bio and everything. Yeah, I learned it at a conference in America, but I have it in my Instagram bio and everything because like it's important to know that when you're like your lowest, like there's breakthrough or there's like a reason for it. Because I believe there's a reason for stuff that happens to you. There has to be, otherwise.
What's the point?
What's the point? There's no point. But what was the question again?
Do you feel like
Yeah, that's right. The father. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, like contributes to the
do you
struggle.
feel, do you feel like the experiences that your father's left has helped you to know what to do when you become a father, or do you feel like it's more of a struggle now?
Well, my motivation is like what I don't want to be, and that's not my father. So I want to be there for my family and all that, because like as I like day to day see how my mom is like during the day, like I don't want that for my mom to like have to be by herself and look after 2 kids, me and my sister. Because like that would suck, like that would be sucky feeling. But she's like, you know, she's cool about it, and she got God to help her and all that. So, but like, yeah, it's don't get me wrong, like in the vital years of my life, like your younger years, your teen years, like me now coming into a like young adult, like you do need like a male figure in those types, because like it just sort of breaks you on the it breaks you on the inside. But like I've been blessed to have like many male figures in my life, father figures, to be able to like sort of play the part. But you know, it always does hurt when it's not blood. But yeah, I reckon it just motivates me to be honest, like to not make the same mistakes that my father did, and to be able to like be there for a family and like, you know, show my kids that like how to be like the right type of father, like what it means to be a father. And yeah, just sticking around, that's the important part.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's true. Like I feel like some people who didn't have other father figures in real life, like we relied on TV shows, things like that. Like, for me, Uncle Phil was like a father figure. John Amos from Different Strokes. My bad, John Amos is in the other one. I forgot it. But Different Strokes is Mr. Drummond or whatever. So he was a father figure. So that's where I learned some of my values, you know, as a father.
It's weird. It's weird how like if you didn't have like a strong sort of father figure, like you could even still, but if like you sort of feel distant or whatever, you look at like stuff you watch, and then you see how they portray. Like one person I looked up to, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, was like Will Smith. I looked at how he was like with the ladies and like how he was with like how he acted. So like I like try to reflect that, and that's why like I sort of like, you know, like try like player vibes. Like I just try to like I try to just like Will Smith. I was always looking at him like in like people like him and like different characters to like, I don't know, sort of build
very outgoing sort of characters.
Like to like sort of see what it's like to like, because like no one else was sort of teaching me how to act. Like my mom would try, but like, you know, you need a man to teach a man.
To teach you,
like
your mom can.
A woman can only do so much. Like,
what about
that's why,
yourself?
I was gonna say that's why I looked at SpongeBob SquarePants.
You know, I was gonna say, I completely understand what you mean, because I've been through it as well. You know, without having a father, looking at, you know, different characters from TV shows, whether it's music, you know, TV, whatever. Look up to them. You see their character, and what you said, you know, you reflect on it to help you build up your own character, you know. But I feel like that can also go bad, as in like you can look up to like not exactly wrong people. It's just like they portray an act. That's what it is.
It's very bad.
Like for example, Will was mainly for entertainment purposes.
Like he's not exactly the same as he is in the show as he is in real life. Like some of it's based on his life, but it's just like exaggerated.
Like a lot of these people, like they've been through like a lot of struggle, and then that act is what got them to the fame. But most people only see the act; they don't see like the struggle and the hardship, and they focus on the act, and that was their influence.
Well, it's like Disney, whether it's good, but like everything's sort of perfect in Disney. Like there's like a complication, and then it's always sorted out. Like there's no happy ending. It's always happy.
That's what I find the problem with like a lot of TV shows and stuff. Especially for younger kids. They show like if there's a complication, there's always going to be something to solve it. Sometimes in life that never happens.
That's most times, but
should we cancel Disney?
No,
But Disney,
It's true.
Next Disney film, we want to see the main character die.
And everyone gets killed.
You reckon that's what like ends up making like some kids like spoiled though? Like
it does,
like
especially if
socially.
they grow up with a lot of stuff.
Well, imagine the expectation as a kid, like to like watching, because all kids do is just watch TV or they're on the.
I remember like
iPads or
for me,
Yeah.
we was like I think we are the last generation that actually before 10 were active. Like before I was 10, I was climbing trees.
Oh yeah.
We was riding bikes, was going on like little
Everyone's become
I'm
sedentary.
still like watch TV, like probably like when I come in, but like after school I'd be in a tree, I'd be climbing water tanks, I'd be
like
I
running
was
always
so
playing sports, socializing.
boys with my neighbors and stuff.
Having little fights in the group and
But
then making up.
You're
potato.
you're so innocent as a child too. You don't know anything. Like there were times where like looking back at it now, I'm like, oh crap, like that's what mum was going through. Oh crap, that's what dad was going through.
Exactly. It hits you like a truck.
There were
when you
things-
reminisce and you
There
like,
were things that my mom had to hide for my own good. Like she never said things about my dad, and it was only until now that I've like literally until I turned 18 where she started to open up and she's like, oh, this happened, blah blah blah, and I'm like, oh wow.
Yeah.
And then I always used to, when I was younger, I always used to question like, why is this
Yeah,
happening?
you
Why is-
walk off to your room like, oh,
Yeah.
me no.
The one.
Yeah.
This one?
That was my pillow, bro.
Same.
At the peak of like where my family relationships wasn't it, because I felt like I was grown, you know. I think as a kid you always feel like you want to be grown. And I've always been to fights like, get to slap, go to your room, go to your room, like. That was if I was lucky, you know. Sometimes they'll find me in my room, like 5 minutes later, your parents ever decided, oh, you know what, I feel like he deserved a nice whooping for that one. Opens the door, and then I'll crack myself to sleep. Like you'd see the pillow like just
The face, like, has like a face.
And then you lie there and you
something
can't
about
breathe,
crying
like-
yourself to sleep gives you the best sleep.
Yeah, it does.
Every night I cry myself to sleep.
Or if it's like in the middle of the day and you fall asleep because you're so like you've worked yourself up getting angry, and then you wake up like nighttime and you had like a nap.
Relax.
it's kind of like meditation, like reflecting on like what's happened, you know, like when your mum beats you and stuff, like you cry, you cry all about it. But at the same time, like you kind of think about it at the time.
So and then after you're like, oh, I sort of look bad actually. Like,
exactly.
But real talk.
No,
The worst thing for me was knowing that my mom was like vulnerable, like wasn't superwoman or like that's the worst feeling. Like for me when I grew up, is like seeing her when I saw her emotional for the first time or whatever. Because like that's what parents would do. Like they wouldn't want to. They wouldn't want to see like get their kids to see them like which like it like absolutely sucked for me because like I thought like I was thinking like she's like invincible basically as a kid. And then when I saw like that's not true, and then reality hits and you notice like it's just thing. Like it's just a weird thing how when you're a kid that happens. Like,
That's true because things like one of the earliest things kids pick up on is also like mainly emotions. They can tell happy, sad, confused, things like that, and like in a society just in general tries to sugarcoat everything for kids, and which is right for the early stages, because you know if you expose them to like high violence or abusiveness and stuff, they grow
even
up
music as well.
a lot of bad music too.
And then again, that touches back on the mental health thing because like whatever they're exposed to growing up, it's just going to reflect on how they're going to be when they're older. Whether that's like a aggravated personality or like
I'm not violent. I'm not violent.
Dean grew up for DMX and that's
Yeah, right. Wow.
in high school, this man had the biggest persona. Sometimes just walk around like his dog walk just.
Well, no. I'll admit, growing up, like I was I wasn't violent. I wasn't a violent kid. Nah, straight out, I wasn't.
Yeah, he wasn't violent.
I just had. Shut up.
You were influenced quite a lot by like those like gangster movies and all that.
Yeah. Okay. Let me tell you why. Like
I know his favorite. He managed to society.
Okay, so
all the time. All dogs is my dog, man. All dogs the real G. None of these gangsters. That was him.
Okay, so because my dad wasn't around like as much when I was like, he was, but it wasn't as much as my mom. And sometimes my mom would let me stay at my sister's. So my sister, she would have like all of these like American gangster films and stuff
And the
like
siblings
that.
are supposed to be like the cool
Yeah, they're supposed to be like the cool ones. And I remember I used to listen like, because when I was with my mom, I'd listen to like the Beatles, Elvis, like all the old, like the classics. But then when I was at my sister's, I'd be listening like Tupac, DMX. So then like I started to like walk around like them and carry that persona. But yeah, that's what the young influence, you know.
It's funny how like the more negative sort of stuff like attracts you more, like the gangster stuff. But I think it's because like you watching, you're like, oh, like that's sort of like a similar upbringing to me. Like obviously not as extreme, but like they didn't have their father or whatever. Maybe I should become like a drug slinger. Like
it's always like an interest or like an enjoyment when you see something or talk to something or listen to something that you strongly relate to.
Yeah, it's like a pleasure.
Yeah, that's why representation matters big time, because for some black role models, like for some black kids, the only time they can relate with someone, like you automatically like something you can relate to, and then if the only thing you can relate to is always like, for example, in movies, it was always like either if it's a major role, the black guy is like a drug kingpin or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's why when, you know, they started making movies later on about, you know, figures that were much more than just drugs, that were successful beyond, like MLK, Malcolm X, like Jackie Robinson, all the people you might not even know about. Jackie Robinson. Exactly. And Thurgood Marshall as well. And Black Panther as well. So
Eminem.
Eminem is the blackest white person I've ever met, bro.
Reverse coconut, man.
Straight up.
I reckon Eminem changed the world quite a bit, like change of perspective.
He changed like the whole rap game forever. Because like rap was like no white people like rap. And that's like, now you see it's like almost like a 50-50 industry, but there's so many white people now like trying to get.
But the funny thing about
I hate white people rapping, like why would they rap?
Open doors for you, Mike.
The funny thing about Eminem is like, I shouldn't say funny. He had a really messed up childhood. He's funny. No, because
funny thing is that he's like,
because the mum was a drug addict, and she used to like blame him for everything. And then the father left too.
I mean, you heard it in this movie.
Have you have you listened to Cleaning Out My Closet?
Yeah.
Bro,
Cleaning Out. Oh.
This guy.
I thought coming out the closet.
No, he literally talks about killing his mom.
Yeah, no, it's
just crazy. Yeah.
No, I watched this little like 20-minute documentary on YouTube about like his upbringing and how he would go to charities just to get clothes. Like go do charity events, and I'm like, damn, that's sad.
Dude had it hard, man. Had it hard.
See, that's the thing though, like he doesn't like show emotion, like that's what we were talking about before, you know, he doesn't show as much emotion anymore because
anger.
Otherwise
his natural face is like
just neutral. He doesn't smile, because if he does show emotion, I feel like that's where people are gonna get at him, you know.
Oh bro, speaking of that, there's this documentary with 50 Cent, and he's talking about, because 50 Cent's mom was like a drug dealer, and the father left ages ago, like before he was born.
Sorry. Should we put in the clip? No, just put it in. It's the last podcast. This joke is from the last podcast.
Yeah. No, there's this documentary of 50 Cent. He's with Oprah, and 50 Cent, like, he never shows it. Like, he's the troll. He usually pokes fun at people for showing emotion. Like, you see it on his Instagram. Yeah. But there was this one clip of 50 Cent, and he's like the alpha male, like, drug kingpin, blah, 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 this, that, biggest gangster in Jamaica, Queens. But there's a moment where he starts to cry when he talks about his mom. And I was looking at that, and that, like, I've never met 50 Cent, but listening to his music growing up, I'm like, this guy's like gangster, no one can touch him. But then once you see this man cry, it's like, you kind of feel it in a way, like as weird as that sounds, even though you don't know him personally. Like, you feel that emotion, you're like, here's this guy who comes across as like the biggest gangster, he trolls everyone too, and he, you know, been shot 9 times, survived, but he's crying about his mom and his grandparents raising him up, like that hit different. Like, it's like, damn.
It's just real. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's real.
It shows the human side of
Yeah.
people.
The people on the
That's very true. Because like me too, like where I come from in my culture, usually you never see a man cry unless it was something real tragic.
Yeah, like family death.
Yeah, like a death, you know. So like I remember this one time I came from school, and then I saw this man crying, and like you freeze as a kid because that was the first time I saw a man cry. And when you see a man cry, you know
You wonder it must be bad,
it's
yeah.
deeper than deep, like. And so we just paused with like, we didn't even know what to do, you know, because it was like it wasn't just like a little teardrop.
It's like full crying.
Yeah, it was like it was
Just get full.
you know, yeah. So like seeing that like from an African, a grown African man. You're gonna.
And then I saw the guy smiling.
Yeah. No, from a grown African man, like bro, as a kid that was so obsessed to being a man, at like 6'7", because that's what you're told.
Get your reality check.
Yeah. So I'm like, whoa, he's crying. And yeah, I thought it was a death. It was a death like in the community, and he was really good friends with our mom that had died, and she had left kids behind. And like seeing that just made me realize, like, wait, so men actually have tears, because I hadn't seen a man cry.
It's such a like changing point. You're
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
oh, like you can be vulnerable, like sort of, or like yeah, you can show that you have feelings, sort of thing. It's just like that.
Yeah, I think for
Yeah.
oh sorry. Yeah, no. I think where it hit different for me was seeing my father cry for the first time. This was when I was really young. It was because his grandmother died, and like, we were in a hotel room. He was just like meeting up with me or something like that. And he said, her name was Daffy. So like, Nana Daffy died. And I'm like, oh. And he started crying and all that. And that hit so hard. I was just shocked. I didn't know what to say. Didn't know what to do. Like, first time seeing like your only male role model, you know, you've grown up with, who raised you. You know, you see them cry, it's like for the first time, it's different.
Yeah, that's true. Like, for example, too, in old school African societies, like when that happens, like when men cry, it's like they cry alone. It has to be like alone. Like they would, even when they cry, they just try and make sure they're not seen by the female.
I do that most times.
They just make sure they're not seen by like the females crying.
Yeah.
Like not because they'll get abused or whatever, but it's just like
one of those things.
Yeah, one of those things. Like it's a cultural thing that will probably never die. It's just like you know.
To wrap it up, I got one question that I just thought of on the spot. But what's one album or one song that helped you get through like a downtime?
Damn.
It came up when we talk about 50 Cent, but what's one album like through your hard times that helped you get through it?
I can sort of say
or song.
artist.
Yeah, artist, album, or song. Any of the three.
Yeah.
Then you can go with Teal's King.
I already know this one is.
Yeah.
Adam's ready.
Alright, so this song has helped me through so much in my life. It's this one like indigenous artist. He's from Sydney. His name's Kobe D, and like it was one song called This Life. You know, it's just really I don't know, the instrumental fits well with the lyrics. Every time I listen to it, it helps me reflect, helps me know that there are other people out there going through similar shit. You know, doesn't matter your skin color, you know, you go through, you know, similar shit like that. And it's something that's always, you know, helped me move on. So yeah, Kobe D, This Life. Yeah.
Do you know the artist like Chekuma?
Nah, what's one of his songs? Name one of his songs.
Chekuma.
I did not see it coming.
Far out, bro. I thought you were someone from like.
Like sort of artists. It's sort of hard. Like artists. Pause. It's hard. Wait, hold on. The artist is like. At one point, I was like pumping. Like when I was at my lowest, I was like listening to Juice WRLD like hard out.
Yeah.
Even though it's like it's sort of bad because he's sort of like
he's talking about.
he talks about like he's like depressed himself, but like you know it's weird in the way where you sort of relate to him in a way, and you're like, oh, like the artist, like there's a lot of like sort of not depressed artists, but they're like pretty dark, like pretty dull.
Yeah.
But like I would listen to him because like I sort of feel like I don't know. If anything, it sort of like helped me. Like it made me feel like I used to feel like really
There's someone
sad,
else
but like
going through it.
yeah. I'm like oh yeah, they like know what it's like. Like they're like going through it, and they're like a big artist or whatever.
I guess that's why people listen to those like X and all that because
Yeah.
I used to be big XXXTentacion fan.
I think we all were at one stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, like for me, I got to know him after he died.
Yeah.
Yeah, cause like my
Ben was
I never posted like screenshot of me.
Yeah.
No one cares. Don't do it unless it's good.
I only do that.
But no offense,
music
I always
comes out,
see I always see like it always be like Lil Becky's or Carol's, yeah, posting, like Jessica's posting like their screenshots.
I'm gonna get so much.
Yeah, but like Carol's will be posting like screenshots or Karen, but screenshots of them listening to like good music, and I'm like, you just like I don't know this, like I don't know if you ever see this, but I see like for this one girl on Snap that I have. And she always posts screenshots of her. I'm not sure if you have her, but she always posts screenshots of her, like, and like she's like, you know, proper grown up in Australian household, you know, whatever. But she's always posting Polo G, like all these gang, yeah, you know, people that come from the gutter, like the music. I'm like,
you see how this dude goes on the biggest tangent?
Yeah. Listen, music is universal. Anyone can listen to anything, but it's when you start adopting the persona of a particular artist.
Especially when your body doesn't suit that image, you know?
I mean, it's good. You can like relate to different artists, but like don't pretend you are them. That's pretty dumb. But,
like,
what's one song or album or artist that got you through a hard time?
I'd say Kendrick. Kendrick got me through a lot.
It gon' be alright.
Nah. Especially some of his old stuff like Section 80. That helped me through a
waiting
lot.
for this question. Before the last podcast, we was talking about for about 20 minutes while we waited for Olivier.
Kendrick, no.
Kendrick
is just Kendrick is just one of those artists I can play at any time. When I'm in the gym, when I'm at home, anywhere. I can play Kendrick anywhere. But if I'm gonna say like an artist that helps me like grind, like hard, 50 Cent.
Oh yeah, 50
Cent. Get Rich or Die Trying by 50 Cent.
Yeah, bump that album all the time.
Yeah.
One thing that like is a good music, like just quickly, is like, have you ever listened to like soaking music?
Soaking.
I'm not gonna.
Like it's weird.
What's soaking mean?
Like instrument. It's like almost like worship.
Me and Trace
like worship music.
like,
like it's different. But like I know it's different. It sounds weird, but like soaking music, like it sounds like so like relaxing.
It's so relaxing.
It's like if you
it's
like
if you,
before you go to sleep, if you search for like soaking music, like sort of gospel worship or whatever, but it's just soaking music, like instrumental. Like you just like
feel so good.
Yeah, harmonies.
No
gospel harmonies.
Yeah.
Me and Trace literally listen to like and a few other guys, but like we're literally like just listen to like a whole like 2 hours of it. It's just so relaxing.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's a vibe. Anyway, one song. Wake up! Come on, man. We're filming.
Nah, I was just saying because you guys are sleeping on us.
Include that in like the snippet. Include that.
No, one song that probably helped me when I was feeling down. I have a lot, but one that I just thought of then was probably "Stupid Deep" by John Bellion. Which
yeah.
I don't even know who that.
That song just I don't know. It really hit me at one point in my life where I was feeling like, yeah. That's a good song. I really. If you listen to it, and you'll be like,
Adele,
John Bellion.
Adele hits different, bro.
Yeah, as for me, it was probably Since You're Never Asked. But anyway, as for me, it was probably an artist that.
What the hell?
Probably not Akon. I grew up in the little Akon.
Yeah.
And then like lonely convict music, you know. That was my shit, yeah. And then what else? Who else? I forgot the dude's name, but
Michael Jackson.
Sean Kingston as well. Michael Jackson. That was big.
Yeah. Michael Jackson was everyone's.
Yeah, it gave me joy like every time.
Yeah.
And then I grew up. It was movies
that's
for
like
me.
Childhood thing.
Yeah, movies actually. I was more of a movies guy than music, and I grew up in Rush Hour, Jackie Chan. So shout out to Jackie Chan. Jackie Chan, the GOAT of action.
Yeah.
Rebel.
Yeah, the best.
Right.
Rebel.
Wrapping up now, guys.
Wait, can I just say thank you for everyone that actually like supports us. No, straight up. Like there's so many people who like message me, and I'm not talking shit. Like there's so many people who message me and like, oh, I really loved your podcast, blah blah blah, this that. I've had even random people like that I don't really talk to that much text me and go, oh, like I enjoyed the recent one. So thank you for everyone that supports.
Yeah, hurry up.
Yeah, and I want to thank y'all. First of all, I want to thank you guys for having me. You guys are some solid blokes. I'll high five you.
Thanks for coming on.
So
Yeah. I was gonna say before everyone interrupts me. Thanks for Johrace for coming on today. It was good talk, good chat. And if you guys are all struggling, feel free to reach out. We're all here for you.
DMs open.
Yeah.
DMs are open.
Turn that depression into rage.
Oh. He's not in the right mental state, but yeah.
We'll see you guys later, and I don't know. This might be the last full one with all of us here. But we have a few queued up, so you guys are gonna be seeing more.
Because I'm moving.
Alright, catch you guys.
Stay healthy in your mind.
Hey, yo, baby, out.